You've worked for decades to get to retirement. You've looked forward to more freedom, more flexibility, and time to actually do all those things you always said you were going to do someday. But then something happens. You finally make the decision that it's time to move and go enjoy those retirement dreams, and suddenly it feels like you've taken on another full time job. Now you're thinking, wait, do we move first? Do we sell first? How are we supposed to coordinate all of this? And before you know it, what was supposed to be the start of an exciting new chapter starts feeling more like a giant project. The good news is this: moving away does not have to mean putting your entire life on hold for the next several months. Today, I'm going to walk you through how to coordinate selling your Tri-Cities home and moving away at the same time so that it doesn't have to completely take over your life. I see people with the same two overwhelming thoughts all the time. The first one, we have to do everything in the exact right order or we're going to mess something up. And the second thought is that they have to personally coordinate all of the tasks themselves. Those thoughts make total sense because when you're moving across state lines, there are a lot of moving parts. You've got packing, moving companies, making lists of what you're going to take and what you're going to get rid of, paperwork, repairs, contractors, getting the timing lined up, selling your home, and getting accustomed to living in a brand new location once you do get your house sold, or maybe before. The list keeps growing, and what happens is people start feeling stuck because they don't know what to do first. Everything seems equally important, and you're just not sure where to start. But here's what I see over and over. The problem isn't usually the move itself. The problem is feeling like you personally have to coordinate every moving part of the upcoming process. So where do we start with coordinating all of this? I like to say start at the end rather than the beginning. And what do I mean by that? Starting with your goal in mind, we work backwards. Let's say you tell me we want to be in our new location no later than 4 months from now. Great. Now we have a timeline in place that we can work with. Instead of guessing, we have a clear deadline that we want to meet, and we work backwards to build out our exact plan of action. So now that we know what the timeline looks like in our example scenario, 4 months, we start looking at the exact steps to get the house ready. This is where I think a lot of people accidentally end up making too much work for themselves. Sometimes I see people prepared to spend thousands or tens of thousands of dollars on projects that really won't move the needle much at all on their home sale. So instead of creating a giant list of every possible project that you think should be done, we create a much more useful list that takes into account the following. What should we do? What should we skip? What helps homes sell faster and for more money? And what projects are just going to add stress and money investments without adding much value? Because if we're trying to create a smooth transition between your current home here in Tri-Cities and your new home, the last thing we need to do is add unnecessary projects that are actually hindering your long-term goals. And if you want more information on that topic, I actually made a video you can watch that has all the information you would want to know on what to fix and what to skip. The next question we're going to go over is, do we sell first and then move? Or do we move first and then sell? This is a very important question, and what you need to know most is that there isn't one right answer for everyone. The answer to this question is going to vary, and it's going to depend on the following things: your timeline, how much preparation your home needs, how much equity do you have in your home, and what's your comfort level with being away from your home while it's on the market and potentially owning 2 properties at once. Again, this will be dependent on your home equity and your own specific financial situation. Here's something I think many of my relocation sellers don't actually realize. Sometimes moving first makes your life way easier. Instead of keeping your house show ready once it's on the market, you're already gone and enjoying your life. You're not having to spend every morning deep cleaning your house just in case a buyer calls and says they want to see it. Instead of having to manage contractors, updates, repairs while you're living in the home and having contractors constantly coming and going, that can all be done while you're off on a hike, spending time with your grandkids, or out playing a round of golf. And for some people, that removes a huge amount of stress. By the way, if you're in that season of life where you're starting to think about relocating for retirement, drop down below in the comments where you would like to move to. I'm always curious where people are thinking about moving, and I love seeing all the different places that people are dreaming of going. And if you haven't seen any of my previous videos, I'm Hillary Templin, a relocation specialist real estate broker here in the Tri-Cities, Washington. And I help people just like you all the time who are planning for their retirement relocation or starting their next chapter out of the state coordinate this process of moving and selling at the same time. When it comes to moving away for retirement, anytime you start to feel that sense of overwhelm or that sense of not knowing where to begin, just refocus on what you really want and that end goal in mind of that relaxing retirement life. And instead of focusing on contractors and repairs, be focusing ahead to hanging out with your grandkids at their soccer game or enjoying traveling to that destination you've always dreamed of seeing. Keep focusing on and moving toward that new life so that you don't get stuck in all the details of selling your current home. And that is exactly where having someone there to help you through this process and help coordinate everything changes the whole game. Not because someone steps in and takes over everything. As the seller, you're still 100% in control, but you don't have to figure out every single detail or make every decision alone. Maybe it's helping answer questions. Maybe it's helping you with identifying exactly which repairs do need to be done and which ones you can skip. And maybe it's simply helping you locate a plumber or an electrician or some other professional that you need to help get that house showing ready. And if you decide to move first and sell later, it's having someone to help coordinate everything that goes into getting the house ready. Letting contractors in for repairs, checking on the contractors, checking on the status of repairs, getting the house staged, making sure a cleaner can come in. All of those steps in the process can be coordinated on your behalf while you're off enjoying that retirement life you've been looking forward to. You don't want to become a full-time project manager of a move. You want a customized plan and support that helps keep the sale of your Tri-Cities home organized and on track while your attention gets to stay focused where it should be, which is where you're going and the exciting adventures that retirement life has in store for you. The people I've seen that seem to enjoy the retirement relocation transition the most are not the ones that are trying to handle everything themselves. Instead, they're the people with a clear plan of action and a support person helping them out, because then the process starts to feel less like chaos and more like progress. At the end of all this, the goal isn't simply to be able to say, we survived selling our house. No, the goal is actually to be able to say, we moved into the retirement life that we had been looking forward to with ease and confidence because we had a clear plan of action and a support person backing us up every step of the way. And most importantly, it did not end up consuming our entire lives. When it comes to selling your house and relocating out of state, one of the biggest decisions that affects everything we talked about in this video today is that decision of whether to sell your house first and move later or move first and sell later. So watch this next video because in it, I'll be going over the pros and cons of both options and will help you avoid mistakes that will create nothing but unnecessary stress later. Go check out that video and I'll see you there.